Good afternoon. I'm Atajanova Malofat, and now we will have a practical phonetics with you. First of all, let me explain you that phonetics is divided into segmental phonetics and suprasegmental phonetics. The learning object of segmental phonetics is a phoneme. And as for the learning objects of suprasegmental phonetics, they are syllable, or word stress, sentence stress, and intonation. Besides, of course, tempo of speech, melody of speech, they're also the learning objects of suprasegmental phonetics. But today we will speak about intonation, the role of intonation in our speech. Exactly to say the importance of intonation in our speech. So why do we need to learn intonation? So what is intonation? Intonation is the speech melody. In our everyday life, we may be in different situations of ours. For example, we may be sad, we may be calm, we may be excited, we may be surprised, we may be worried, or we may be happy, or even we may be happy enough. And in such kind of situations of ours, we have to use different types of intonation in order to express all of our feelings and emotions to the listener completely. So that is why we shall learn intonation today. It is distinguished 8 types of intonation in English language. So now I will explain you all of them. The first intonation pattern, the first nuclear tone is the low fall, for example. First of all, I have to remind about that mainly it is distinguished 2 types of intonation, 2 main types of intonation. They are falling tune and rising tune. It is falling intonation and rising intonation. And each one of them is subdivided into some subgroups. For example, as for the falling tune is subdivided into low fall, high fall, and rise fall. So here, let me explain you the stress marks of all these nuclear tones too. So for example, this is the stress mark of a low falling nuclear tone. So this is the stress mark of a high falling nuclear tone. And as for the rise fall, so this is the stress mark of a rise falling nuclear tone. And as for the rising tune, it is distinguished 4 types of them. The first one is low rise. The second one is high rise. The next one is fall rise. And the next one is rise, fall, rise, rise, fall, rise, fall, rise. So as for the stress marks of all these intonation patterns, for example, as for the low rise, this is the stress mark of a low rising nuclear tone. So this is the stress mark of a high rising nuclear tone. And as for the fall rise, so the fall rise, this is the stress mark of a fall rising nuclear tone, because first it falls, then again it rises up to the medium pitch level. Then rise fall rise, as for the stress mark of rise fall rise, first it rises up to the medium pitch level, then again it falls, then again it rises up to the medium pitch level. So this is a stress mark of a rise fall rising nuclear tone. And as you can see, these are these 3 falling tunes, 4 rising tunes, and the last one, the 8th one, is mid-level tone. Mid-level. So mid-level, it neither falls nor rises. So in the tonogram, we mark it with a straight, with a dash, like this. It neither falls nor rises. It is people who have monotonous speech, you mainly use mid-level tone. So, but this is not an appropriate intonation for, especially for a teacher. because teachers should manage the classroom, especially if it's a lecture hall. You know that in a lecture hall there may be about 100 or even sometimes more than 100 students in a lecture hall. So that is why, first of all, to deliver the knowledge, it is to deliver the new material of the lesson to the learners. First of all, teacher should manage the classroom. In order to manage, this teacher should be able to attract all the listeners' attention with his or her attractive speech. How can a teacher may make his or her speech attractive? All, of course, with the help of these different types of intonation. Sometimes teachers should use falling or sometimes should use a rising nuclear tone, but only not mid-level tone. If the teacher uses mid-level intonation, it will be very boring and the learners may not want to learn the new material of the lesson. So that is why we have to learn different types of intonation. It is thing is intonation in different types of sentences. Here we have written down the types of intonation, and as for the types of sentences, so according to the purpose, it is distinguished three types of sentences. You know, the first one is declarative sentence, the second one is interrogative sentence, and the last one is exclamatory sentences. And here we should speak about the intonation in the first one. It is, let's take declarative sentence. Declarative sentences are also called affirmative sentences or statements. It is intonation in statements. So statements are usually inform us about something, so that is why they have, as they have a complete meaning, they are usually pronounced with a low falling nuclear tone. For example, let me write down here one declarative sentence. For example, I work at school. I work at school. And here, before talking about the intonation, of this sentence, we should remember here which words take stress in English language, because we may make the tonogram of this sentence only according to the stress marks. It means that first we have to put the stress marks. So in English language, it is distinguished content words and structure words. So content words, what are they? They are notional parts of speech. It has main words. They are noun, verb, adverb, adjective, numerals. And as for the pronouns, as for the structure words, they are prepositions, conjunctions, articles, particles. Usually they remain unstressed. So as for the pronoun, they are also included in structure words, so that is why they also should remain unstressed here. So work is a verb, it's one of the content words, so that's why it takes stress. And as for the preposition, it doesn't take stress here, but prepositions take stress in phrasal verbs. You know, for example, sit down, stand up. And in such kind of phrasal verbs, prepositions take stress, but in the other cases, they never take stress. So we should remember, we should take it into consideration. As for the last word here, school is a noun, so that is why it takes a stress. So as you can see, there is a difference between the stress marks of this and this words. Why? Because this is the stress mark over low falling nuclear tone. And just now I have explained you that declarative sentences are usually pronounced with the low falling nuclear tone. Low falling nuclear tone. And now, according to these stress marks, we will make the tonogram of this sentence. We will make the tonogram of this sentence. So, in the tonogram, So what is a tonogram? Tonogram, you know that I have explained you that. Tonogram is the scale of our tone between different types of pitch levels. You know that it is distinguished three pitch levels: low pitch level, medium pitch level, and high pitch level. So the movement of our tone between these pitch ranges are called the scale. This is called a tonogram. Now we will make the tonogram of this sentence. So in the tonogram, unstressed syllable, it is the first pitch and stress section of an intonation is called a prehead. I have ever explained you that. It is distinguished four pitch and stress sections of an intonation, where the first one is called the prehead, the second section is called the head, and the third section is called the nucleus, and the last one, the fourth section, is called the tail. So let me remind you again, prehead is the first unstressed or half-stressed syllable of an intonation, and it doesn't have any stress mark. And in the tonogram, we mark it with the point. Okay, let's see. And as for the word, as it's a content word, so we mark it with a dash, straight horizontal line here in the tonogram. And as for the preposition, it's again unstressed syllable with a point. And as for the school here, pay attention to the stress mark of it. This is low fall, and that is why the low fall, the tone mark of low fall begins, it starts from the medium pitch level and reaches up to the lowest pitch level. And then at the end, we should close in the tonogram with two vertical lines, straight vertical lines. And now let's read the tonogram. I work at school. So as you can see, we don't have here the last section of an intonation, which is called the tail. So because the tail, there may be or there may not be any tail in an intonation group. Why? Because our nucleus, the last stressed syllable of an intonation is the last stressed syllable of an intonation consists of only one syllable here. So that is why we mark it like this. So if it's a college, for example, if it's a college, you know, consists of two syllables. Let's write down here college. It consists of two syllables, so that is French. Pay attention to my intonation in this declarative sentence. He can speak French. He can speak French. Repeat after me, please. He can speak French. He can speak French. As it has a complete meaning, it is usually pronounced with a low falling nuclear tone. But sometimes declarative sentences also can be pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone too. Let's clarify when. So when the declarative sentence implies a questionary meaning, it is pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone. When the speaker is not sure about the information he heard, or when this declarative sentence implies a questionary meaning, it is usually pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone. For example, he can speak French. He can speak French. So pay attention to the structure of this sentence. Let's change it this time. He can speak French. So let's put the stress mark of a low rising nuclear tone here, because I am not sure about the information I heard here, so that's why I'm surprised and I'm asking this sentence with the questionary meaning, and I'm using low rising nuclear tone in it. He can speak French. He can speak French. Repeat after me, please. So, dear students, today we learned different types of intonation patterns, exactly to say 8 types of intonation patterns, and intonation pattern in declarative sentences. So, declarative sentences can be pronounced with the low falling and low rising nuclear tone too. So your home task for the next time is, so write down please 10 sentences, 10 declarative sentences, and put the stress marks of such kind in your sentences and intone your sentences. So, goodbye.